Stillwell, okay? And you know Shannon, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, I do.
Want to ask you about this, the picture you just saw of the tombstone. You ever see that picture before today?
When they showed it to me, I think.
Who showed it to you?
She showed it to me last week, I think.
She being the prosecutor,
Yeah.
Miss Hilton.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I saw it.
So, and you on that vlog, I think you're calling it a vlog, you made a reference to a tombstone, correct? All right, and you were,
Yeah.
were you referencing?
Viral news source.